Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Stephen.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Let's get this show started. Well, it's the end of the week again. Another fantastic week. A lot of stuff going on in the dojo and outside of the dojo. How's your week been?
My week's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been really fast.
Has been fast.
Another putting in my time here, helping everybody out, teaching, watching everybody grow.
Yep.
You know, making an impact in that way. Then at home, it's like, you know, figuring out taxes, getting all that stuff done, and
Yeah.
another play date with my dog, and then, you know, by the time I realized that, end of the week is already
It's already
here.
Friday. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were briefly just talking a little bit ago about doctors. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and it was supposed to be just like blood tests and making, sure all your levels are right and this and that. And we didn't do any of that stuff.
What?
They just kept talking about my elbow, because when I checked in, I also wrote down,
Elbow hurt.
look at my elbow, because I heard it a couple weeks ago, and it just really hasn't felt right since. So I was expecting to go there, have them draw some blood, and then they'd get back to me and be like, "Oh, okay, let's levels look good here, fix this, fix that, whatever it is."
How long did that appointment take?
Well, like 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I cannot stand doctors' offices because I personally, and maybe when Doc comes out, I'll talk to him. I don't think they respect people's time. I don't. Because anytime any of us have had a doctor's, dentist, any type of service-based appointment, minus ours, if you don't show up, you pay a fine.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so if you forget you have an appointment and you space it off and you blow it, all of a sudden you get this $25 to $50 penalty.
Yep.
But yet, if they don't hold true to their time,
a reasonable time.
so
no
if your appointment's
punishments.
at 3:30, figuratively speaking, and you don't go back until 4:30, figuratively speaking, it's like
They're not paying you for that hour.
no, it's like I want a credit on my next appointment, at least $50. So I don't understand why that is. It bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me, but it's just like time is very important to me. And it's like I feel like if people are wasting time, if they want to waste their own time, like whatever, it's their time. That doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, and if I want to waste my time, then I'm choosing to waste my time. But if someone's wasting my time
for me,
I don't like that.
it's very bad.
It bothers me. So, yeah, it was just a disaster all the way around. So
A disaster.
yeah, disaster all the way around. So I was talking to the doctors. They're like, okay, well, it could be this, could be that. Let's get some x-rays and figure out what's going on. And I was like, okay. And they're like, well, do you have time today? And I was like, if it's fast, sure.
Like, it's not going to be fast.
And they're like, yeah, we'll get you done. And I was like, okay. And so they printed me out the work order or whatever it is they call it. And they're like, all right, take this down to radiology. I go, okay, where's that? They're like, it's level 1. And I'm like, okay,
level 1.
okay, level 1.
What
They're like,
level
yeah,
is it?
just go down to level 1. And I was like, oh, okay. I go down to level 1, and this is at St. Mark's, by the way.
Oh,
So
okay. So we've got a name for this.
St. Mark's is, not the biggest hospital in the world, but it's a hospital, and
Right.
it's big.
It's big.
It's got like 3 or 4 wings to it. So we're in the far east wing, and they're like, yeah, it's radiology's level 1. So I was like, okay. I go down, and the only things around me are outpatient surgery and the doors. So I was like, okay, what the hell's radiology? So finally a doctor walked by, and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry to bother you, but like, where is radiology? They're like, oh, it's down here. And then we walk like a half a mile
Yeah.
to where radiology is. He's like, it's right in there. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, thanks.
Yeah. I didn't see it from that far away.
Yeah. I couldn't see it around
curve
the
of the earth.
eight hallways we walked down. And then I walk another like 300 yards to where radiology is. And then I get there and they're like, oh, well, you need to check in at the front desk. And I was like, are you kidding me? They're like, yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know why the doctors don't tell you that. And I was like, where's the front desk? They're like, it's at the front of the hospital. I go, oh my gosh, okay. So then you got to walk like another quarter of a mile to the front desk, check in, then walk another quarter of the mile back to the radiology department. Then, of course, when they're doing x-rays, it's like they're putting your arm in some weird positions, and it's like, this hurts. Like, please take the picture. So then you got to walk all the way back to where you parked your car at the other end of the hospital.
Right, because that's where your journey began.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I'm done with hospitals. So, yeah, I don't the people were nice. People were great.
You got good people
very
this
nice.
time? That's good.
They were very nice, not like the Salt Lake Regional people. But oh man, I just wish they respected people's time a little bit more.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's enough of my bitch fest. But so, people in hospitals, please respect people's time. Because we respect your time. We try to show up on time. Like, I'm always that, if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time type person.
Any time between 15 minutes and less is like you're late.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, when you're sitting there and you're seeing like all these people like show up and then get called back for you, you're just like stewing, sitting in the lobby. Then the first thing they do when they bring you back is check your blood pressure, and they're like, your blood pressure's a little high. I'd be
wonder why.
Well, no shit. I've been sitting in the lobby for an hour and seeing everybody else go ahead of me. Then, of course, my nurse assistant or whoever's doing it is a Seahawks fan and is talking all sorts of shit for someone who doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, just be quiet, dude. He's like, your blood pressure's high. I'm like, really? You think? Okay, why don't you go away? Leave me alone for 5 minutes, then come back and check it again when I'm not ready to punch you in the face.
Oh, dear.
So, and he did. He went away, and then he came back, and it was better. So,
really?
Yeah, go figure. So, but, it's the end of the week. Going to have a great day in the dojo, great sparring class tomorrow. Life is good. Life is really good. But moving on with our show, let's get into our Liam's Facts. Okay, last week's Liam's Facts question was answered by two people. It was answered by, let me pull it up real quick. I know Master Lessons, and let me for sure say the correct name. And the SH Solutions correctly answered the question with, what was the original product sold on Amazon? And that answer is books. Books were the only product sold on Amazon for a long time. So,
wow.
Did not know that at first. In fact, Shanna told me that, and I was like, that's a pretty good question.
Did Shanna comment?
No, of course. I don't think she listens to the show.
She doesn't listen to the show anymore?
No, she's a big loser.
Oh.
But I still love her.
Good.
So... But this week's question is an interesting one. I'll be very surprised if someone gets it. If they do, probably tell me a lot about you. The question is, what is the national animal of Scotland?
Whoa.
So one more time. What is the national animal of Scotland? Make sure you comment your answer or email us at TrueTalkTuesdays@gmail.com, and we'll see who can get this one. I'm hoping to stump Master Lessons. He always seems to get them. So
I'd be surprised. I think he can get this one.
He might be able to. He's smart enough. So, but moving on to our top 5.
Yeah. TRUMOTION in motion. Let's go. Gear up. Stand tall. Feel the flow. Kicking it strong with the best of the best. Streetwear fresh. Put your style to the test. Karate vibes, yeah, we bring that heat. From tees to hoodies, keep it sharp, keep it sleek. T-shirt or hoodie, we got both. Subs for the grind, focus on growth. Stickers and swag, let the world know you rep style. Now let's go. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Reppin' that swag, flexin', wear it proud. power, the heart of the fight. Your fit's gotta match your unstoppable might. Tigers and dragons, bold on the sleeve. Step in the dojo, they know you don't leave. Oh, step up, don't wait. Rock that fit, let's elevate. True motion merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Rocking that drip, yeah, you own the crowd. Support TRUTALKS and wear it loud. Yeah, we reppin' strong, no fear, no doubt. True motion merch shop is what it's all about.
All right, this week's top 5 is we got top 5 childhood toys. Toys you grew up with, or that were your favorite growing up with, or maybe were popular when you were growing up. I honestly kind of had a hard time. I knew I played with a lot of things, but I was like, I can't remember specific things I played with. So this was a little interesting for me. So what were your top 5? I know we kind of spitballed a few of them.
I think I'll go in order of when I remember receiving them.
Okay.
The first set of toys that I got was a wooden train system.
Okay.
So you have like these curved rails and whatnot. They all fit together, and all the trains are magnetized, so you can connect as many cars as you want. That one's been well used. Because I was the oldest of 4 boys, like all the toys kind of just like were passed down.
Yeah.
I got them first, thankfully. That
Yeah,
was the one thing. That was the one thing. I got all the toys first, but all the clothes last. So
yeah,
that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Then I got into Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs.
A lot of Lincoln Logs. I had the old ones.
Yeah.
And then I think my parents accidentally bought a knockoff Lincoln Log set, and they were a little too big.
Oh.
And so we'd have to like squeeze them into the gaps.
Okay.
And they were upset with that. But I like Lincoln Logs. Those were fun. I could never get the pointy roofs to work very well. I kept stacking them too high, and they would collapse.
Oh.
Then probably the biggest one was Legos. I got into that at the right age, and it's like that was my personality for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I just loved all of them. Got as many as I could. I was given so many things, but I also bought a few myself.
Yeah.
And I really liked them because it's just you got to build whatever you wanted with them.
Now, when you got your Legos, were they like the pre-packaged sets of like, hey, you're building this specific thing? Or did you get like just a box full of blocks and then you built your own things?
I got both.
Okay.
I like the prepackaged sets, especially as I got older.
Yeah.
And
It's like building model cars.
It's like building a model car. You want to build that thing because now it's like a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I got more blocks.
Okay.
Because I didn't really respect, I want to build that thing on the box. I'm like, that didn't really speak to me.
No,
but then once I was older, I realized,
Yeah.
it's an X-Wing. I want to build an X-Wing or a snow
Exactly.
speeder.
Yeah.
And then I can use it in my battles with other people.
Yeah, I think once you understand what you're trying to build, you wouldn't have the appreciation for like, hey, you need to put it together like this.
Right.
Be like, I don't want to. I want to put it together however I want.
Yeah. Then there's that point in time where it's like you scrap the older models to take the pieces to build something to like merge them
Unique,
together.
Yeah.
Like I built a lot of. I really like building like soldiers and things and tanks.
Yeah.
Lego doesn't make too many tank sets.
No. What the heck,
And
Legos?
it's their opinion. They don't like war, so they don't.
But they'll build X-Wings.
But it's science fiction. That's not like a war movie.
Doesn't matter. It's still
They're
a
rebels.
war machine.
They've got a cause.
Well, then why do they build like Death Stars and?
Because you need a villain.
Yeah, for my tank to shoot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. I agree. You need, but here's the thing:
they can make historical ones.
The Lego community has like gone way into like war and stuff, and there's like custom molds. I got into this too. I started like making custom molds, and then I would actually just make my own stuff. So I would cut Legos. I would start to modify them, and I would make guns that look real, that the minifigures could hold. And then I would make a cast of it, and then I'd start making plastic copies of it, and then they'd all have them.
Jeez, smarty pants.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, then I think my last toy Well, I've got 2 more. At the same time as Legos, I got a Tinker Toy set. It's like Legos, but with wood and sticks and like little stuff, and you build more structures.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I took the pieces for the windmill and turned them into throwing spears and threw them at my brothers, you know. And then my last toy, and this is probably my most recent one, is my 3D printer.
There you go.
Because that's a toy that just keeps giving.
Yeah.
It keeps making toys.
It keeps making new toys.
It makes whatever you want,
toys
essentially.
you want. Yeah.
So, you know, when I have kids, I think I'm going to get them a 3D printer and teach them how to make their own toys.
There you go.
It's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper.
I don't know how toy manufacturers are still in business with 3D printers.
People need to, like, have the ingenuity to figure it out and, like, the patience to be like, oh, my print broke again. I have to start
Try it
over.
again. Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense.
It's patience.
That makes a lot of sense.
What toys did you have?
I also, when I was like maybe in my early teens, like probably between, I would say 10 to 13, something like that, I was big into model cars.
Model cars.
I used to love model cars, but I would never do them. I was all about speed, not quality.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't paint the individual parts the way they were supposed to because I would glue the engine or the hood shut so nobody could look at the engine.
Right.
So I was just like, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I'd always paint the bottoms of the cars chrome. So it's like, it's shiny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they look good. They were fun. But, like, I could have made them a lot better if I was patient. I really wasn't patient back then. So those were always fun. My grandpa, on my mom's side, he bought me 2 football helmets. And at the time, they were both LA teams because they lived in LA. It was the Raiders and the Chargers. They were both in LA at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I always remember running around with those on, and that was a lot of fun. But I was always way into like stuff like either physically playing with it or outside.
Right.
So like I didn't have the patience to like build things, or if I did, it was like the tallest tower and it was one just like stacking blocks and that's it. And then you run and break it.
And not to get hit in the head.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd always love when like you would get a bike. Getting
Bikes
a bike was always the best. And then my parents spent a fortune in inner tube tires because I kept popping them.
Kept popping your bike tires.
Yep. There was this dirt hill that had dirt mounds that were perfect for like ramps and stuff like that. And I would go in it like, I swear every day I'd get thorns.
Of course.
And they'd pop your tires and you'd just be like, my parents, I don't even know how my parents dealt with that. Like, seriously, again? Be like, sorry. I was riding my bike. Then clearly the Nintendo with talking about games last week. The Nintendo was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So just any game with that. I was also way big into, there was 2 phases of this, wrestling figures.
Oh, yeah.
So there was, back in the late 80s, early 90s, they had these wrestling figures that were maybe 3 to 4 inches tall, and it had like all the major wrestlers at the time. I always remember like trying to collect those, and they had a ring, and I'd always make them battle each other, and they'd fight and beat each other up. And then as I got older, obviously the wrestlers changed and the technology changed. So they had like a Jumbotron, and these wrestlers would have these little like metal strips on the bottom of their feet, and you would place them on top of the ramp, and it'd play their theme music.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then obviously you do that and make them, walk down the ramp and then jump in the ring. Those were always fun to play with. And then any kind of ball. Any kind of ball. You give me a ball and it was like game on.
Yeah,
so,
footballs,
basketballs, soccer balls, baseballs, golf balls, whatever. Nice. So it was interesting because my dad started teaching me how to play golf when I was probably 8. And like we just went to the range forever, and it never seemed like we ever played, but eventually we started going out on the course and playing. And my 8th grade year, I remember me and one of my friends, Philip Sanchez, him and his dad, and me and my dad, every Friday after school, we would go and play a golf course, a different type of golf course. And that was always a lot of fun.
Nice.
So, and then I remember as a kid going to Disneyland and going on the Pirates ride, and after you get off, they had those like toy muskets.
Oh,
Oh man, I remember
Toy
wanting one
gods.
so bad, and I got one, and then I wasn't allowed to take it home.
Oh no.
So it had to stay at my grandma's house. So every time I went to my grandma's house, I'd always try to find it, and then, you know, you're
something about toy guns.
oh man, toy
and
guns were the funnest.
Young males.
Just
young
running
boys.
around, acting like you're trying to conquer something,
Yeah.
and it was
It
a blast.
That was another one that sort of an era of toys that I probably forgot was the gun phase.
Yeah,
Like a cap gun,
yeah,
a stick gun, a PVC gun, and then as soon as you got money and were old enough, airsoft,
yeah.
paintball, and then of course those are all just gateway drugs to real guns. And
I remember as a kid, like, you know, watching all those old '80s action movies. They
Yeah.
had this certain type, and it was the 9mm Beretta.
Yep.
Now that I know it, and then they had a toy gun. Obviously, it was. If I painted it,
yeah,
oh man, like I would have gotten shot with it for sure.
Mm.
But I mean, it was all sorts of like non-realistic colors, and it was crazy how realistic like it actually moved. And I think it was battery operated, and like you could pull the slide back and it'd make the cocking noise. Then you pull the trigger and it would have the action to it, and it'd make the gun sound. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
yeah. Back in the day, when they did die cast metal,
Yeah.
those guns were like
Oh, the
one
cap
orange
guns?
cap
Yeah.
away from looking exactly like a real gun.
Oh yeah, and they had like the weight
And they had the weight,
of a
and they
real
had the
gun.
head,
Yeah.
and they had the mechanical action nearly. The only thing they did was they fired a cap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have grabbed the barrel and used that thing as a melee
You
weapon.
could have.
Yeah, pistol whipping somebody.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is about little boys and guns, but those are always fun for
Yeah.
me. So, but let us know what your top 5 favorite childhood toys are, or were, I should say, and if they kind of matched ours. So obviously, I mean, we're 2 men, so we
Yeah.
talked about boy toys.
If it doesn't
but-
match ours, it's okay to
Yeah.
comment as well.
Exactly. So if you like to play with dolls or whatever, let us know. But moving on to our Ask a Sensei. All right, this week's Ask a Sensei's questions are for question number 1. What is the best dish you can cook, or do you cook?
I do cook.
Okay, what's the
when
best
I want
dish?
to.
What's the best dish you can make?
I made ratatouille from the movie Ratatouille.
Really?
I made it the exact same way
Really? Okay.
with the slices and the bell pepper sauce. It's not bad. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It
How long
tastes
did
good.
How long did that take you?
Oh, the first time, a couple hours. Second time, like an hour.
It's a lot of the mandolin slicing of
It's
the
if you have
vegetables.
a mandolin slicer or something. If you have a machine that can just cut everything up at once.
Yeah.
It's like you got to go through a squash, you got to go through a zucchini, you got to go through a carrot, you got to go through a whole
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff. And if you make the sauce is not a tomato sauce; it's a bell pepper sauce.
Okay.
It's
Red bell pepper, I'm assuming.
red
whatever,
yellow, red yellow.
whatever.
It turns into orange.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can make that ahead of time, that's really good.
Then you
That's-
can just reheat it and
that
then
sauce
pour it
is
over.
really good.
Hmm.
Very, very interesting, very seasoned, very flavorful. And I had like a little, whatever it was, kind of high ceramic white, that one with the ridges,
The casserole dish?
casserole dish, and I made it in there,
Okay.
and you just bake it. It's really good.
Nice.
And then that's something I can make.
Yeah.
I've made it 3 times. I'm
3 times. Okay.
That's
What's
not
your-
like a regular thing.
What's your like go-to, like, hey, if I'm trying, is ratatouille your like impress people meal?
Kind of.
Yeah. So
Kind
if you
of.
got like company coming over and you're like, hey, I
If
want
I
to
have,
show them
if I have prep time.
my culinary skills.
Otherwise, it's sandwiches.
Sandwiches are good.
Sandwiches are pretty
Technically, sandwiches are. Is it cooking or is it assembling?
good. It's assembling.
Yeah,
We're going back to this
A lot of people can
soup
assemble.
cereal argument from last week.
Well, hey, I guess it's all in how you phrase things.
You know, it all ends up in the same place.
Technically, I would assume that if your sandwich is hot, you are cooking it.
Reuben's. I had a Reuben yesterday.
Did you make it?
It was made for me while I was teaching.
Oh, did you? Who made it?
My
for
folks made
Your
it.
folks made it.
Yeah.
Dang, Reubens are good.
Reubens are delicious.
Those are way good.
I like them hot,
Yeah, hot.
but
Reubens.
if they're cold and they're made well,
they're not.
still
They're not
tasty.
bad.
They're still tasty.
They are better hot.
They are a good hot sandwich.
Yeah. Do you like the corned beef, or do you like more of the sauerkraut?
That's
Or are you a
interesting.
Thousand Island dress or
I put
Russian
all
dressing?
three on there.
Yeah.
Corned
what-
beef is good. Pastrami's an alternative.
Okay.
Sauerkraut's a must for me.
Yeah.
The Swiss cheese is a must.
Yeah.
Thousand Island is a must. It's all really good. Like those are just the basic ingredients. I don't know how to deviate from that.
No, yeah, you really shouldn't deviate from it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Becomes a-
that's one you just don't mess
it
with.
becomes a different sandwich. It's like you're
Yeah.
messing with the integrity of the thing.
Like I don't think it would taste as good if you use like turkey or chicken.
No.
Not at all. It's got to be some sort of beef.
Yeah. That the saltiness of the pastrami or the corned beef is
Yeah.
like, counteracts the sweetness of the Thousand Island and the
Or Russian dressing, because it is a Reuben. Yeah, I know.
unbelievable.
They get really picky about that stuff.
Okay,
because
so all right,
Reubens.
Russian
I
dressing.
think Reubens are technically from Russia.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I don't really know the difference between Russian dressing and Thousand Island dressing. I guess where your heritage is.
Where your heritage is. Like,
Yeah.
if that's the hill you want to die on,
I don't care.
it's not a good hill.
That's not important to me.
Yes. Does the,
The
sandwich
dressing.
taste good?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. The sandwich is good. So whoever claims that from their heritage, you did a good job there.
Yeah. Good job. Thank you for sharing it with the rest of the world.
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So Reubens are way good. Anything else is kind of like your go-to like cook dish? Do you like to make breakfast, or are you a breakfast person?
I don't eat breakfast.
You're not a breakfast person?
I will eat breakfast like once or twice a week, just depending.
Okay.
But it's just like toast and cheese.
Gotcha.
I'm
Now,
a
let's say it
I'm
was
a
like-
coffee in the AM. Like if I drink coffee in the AM, that's all I really eat.
Yeah, you're just a coffee person.
It's like borderline intermittent fasting, but dirty intermittent fasting. 'cause
Gotcha.
I eat when I get home from work, which is
Mm-hmm.
usually after 9,
Okay.
and so it's like it's a late. So I don't eat in the morning until 1.
Yeah, I try not to eat when I get home. I used to eat when I would get home, and I just felt like garbage afterwards. So I try not to eat anymore when I get home. Plus, when you're getting older, it's like it's harder to sleep, and so I try not to eat past 7. Because Shanna started something, not because she's always had problems like with her digestion for some reason. She's figured out that if she eats it's crazy, if she eats past 7, like she's got like an upset stomach the rest of the night. But if she eats before 7, she feels fine.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I guess 7 o'clock it is. Like, that's
7
fine.
o'clock.
So I mean, but if you've like hadn't really had any food that whole day, like I'll snack a little bit when I get home. But yeah, I think it's fun to cook breakfast on like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Like, we used to do that a lot. Maybe I should get back to that, like making pancakes and
Pancakes
eggs
is good.
and
Eggs.
yeah, whatever kind of breakfast meat you want to use. Obviously, I like bacon. You don't
Yeah.
eat bacon, so that's okay.
That's okay.
More bacon for me.
Yep.
But I remember when Brandon, Jason, and myself were, really hitting the gym hard. We would come home from the gym and we would scramble up like, like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of ground beef and like 18 to 20 eggs,
Oh, nice.
and just scrabble them up, put them together, put cheese on it, and then we'd split it into thirds. I was like, holy crap, dude. That was a good breakfast.
Yeah, it was.
So, but I would say my go-to, and it's funny because I think this is how I got Shanna to marry me. I'll call it my marry me dish.
Your marry me
Yeah.
dish.
It was like our first New Year's together. She liked steak, but she was like, and she's even embarrassed to say that she liked her steak well done.
I feel like when people say that, they're under duress somewhere.
Yeah, or they just don't know any better.
They don't know any better because
Yeah.
a lot of people cook their steak like that, thinking that it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, it's healthier and like safer. Yeah, it's terrible.
On the edge a little bit.
Yeah, it's terrible. But so I cooked us some steaks. The cut of steak, I mean, she's a snob. She only likes fillets.
Of course.
But you can honestly do this with any kind of cut of steak you want. But so obviously I like to go to like Costco and get like the whole tenderloins, and then you can cut up whatever size steak you want. Because the problem with buying like the pre-cut fillets is they're so thick, they're hard to control the temperature in the middle unless you like sear them and then stick them in the oven, which I hate doing that.
Right.
So I would buy the whole tenderloin and then just cut thinner fillets. So you obviously cook it up. She likes it medium now, which I mean is better than well done. It's way better. And every now and then I can get her to go to almost medium rare, but she'll complain that it's too bloody, and it's like there's no blood in it, but
it's not blood.
It's okay. But really what I won her over with was the sauce I made with it.
The sauce.
Yes, it's a bourbon cream sauce.
What?
Or whatever kind of liqueur you want to use sauce.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good with whiskey or bourbon. You could use rum. I probably wouldn't use tequila.
Well,
but yeah. And you cook up saute some onions and mushrooms, and the part that most people cooking, so this is a lesson for all you men and women out there, when you cook, you have to layer your seasonings. Okay? A lot of people think you just season once, that's it. No, every time you add something new into it, you season that. So you put the onions in, you season it, salt and pepper.
Yep.
Okay? I like to use butter and oil. You can use whatever kind of fat you want.
Okay.
Like beef tallow would be good. Coconut oil would be good.
Okay.
You know, whatever you want to use. Start sauteing them up. When they start to get soft, then you add mushrooms. Again, add a little bit more
seasoning,
more fat and seasoning to it. Okay. Saute those up. Let the mushrooms sweat out. Then you add some garlic. You can use the jarlic if you want, or you can cut up your own. Doesn't matter. I don't really care. That's not a hill I'm willing to die on.
Right.
So saute it up, you know, make them nice and soft, however done you want them. Then you pour in a shot of whatever liquor you want to use. Okay. Then to really wow them, you kind of tilt it over the edge to where you catch the flame, and it catches on fire.
Nice. Has to be a strong liquor then.
Yeah, it has to be
underproof.
Something like that.
That's what's flammable.
Yeah, it has to burn. Why? And because that'll create the wow factor.
Yes.
First time I did it, Shannon thought I was going to burn down the house. Be like, relax, it's okay. She's like, it's not going out. I'm like, it'll go out. Just relax, it's okay.
Nice. Okay,
then you cook out all the alcohol. So everybody's like, oh, you can't do it because I don't drink. Well, you're not drinking.
Yeah.
You're burning the alcohol. Alcohol's gone. Then after that's done, then you pour in heavy cream.
Okay.
Let it come to a simmer. Then you reduce it, and it's this nice thick, not thick, but it's maybe gravy consistency. Sauce that you pour over the top of your steaks, and then you make it with mashed potatoes and asparagus. It's my go-to if I'm trying to entertain and wine and dine people and like show them how impressive I am in the kitchen. That's what I cook.
Yep. That's awesome. So you like to show off a little bit while you cook. You have a bit of a show.
Sort of. Not really.
Not really. It just happens.
The only showing off would be like if they're in there when I actually like flambe, as they call it, the alcohol.
Yep.
But if they're not in there, they don't see it, and I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, look at this! Come here! Put your head right over here." Oh, jeez.
You're just preparing for alternative life at on a hibachi grill or something.
Yeah, exactly. If I was grilling, like my go-to, like grill stuff, not smoke. Smoking's like, if you use a smoker, super easy. You just
Yeah.
put it in there and you leave it alone.
You let it be.
Yeah. With smoked chickens, by the way,
Best chickens.
that's the only way to cook chickens, to be honest with you. But if I was grilling, I found this recipe from Bobby Flay.
Ooh.
So if you know any kind of
Bobby
culinary stuff, Bobby Flay is like the man. Like he is a phenomenal chef. He makes these things called Cuban burgers. Okay, it's a play on Cuban sandwiches. Okay, so you grill up your hamburger patties, all that stuff. Then you assemble the burger with it's like a mayonnaise, garlic, mustard sauce. You mix it together, then you put it on top and bottom of your bun, or top, bottom bun. Then it's hamburger, Swiss cheese, sliced ham, pickles, and then the top bun. So when you first assemble it, I mean, the sucker's like 4 to 5 inches tall.
Right.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a tall burger.
Then you wrap it in tin foil, put it back on the grill, and then you put a brick on it.
As the entire burger, bun included.
Yes, everything.
Whoa.
So you wrap it in tin foil so you don't burn it.
Right.
So you wrap it in tin foil, then you put a brick on it, and that basically is panini pressing it.
Yes.
But you're doing it with a brick, so you look impressive.
Yeah, so you
So-
look like a man.
Yeah, be like, I cook with stones and brick.
Stone.
Yes. And then you just, you cook it on there for another 5 minutes, let it smush down. The bottom bun gets a little crispy. They are some of the best burgers you could ever have.
Wow.
They're phenomenal. So
Wow.
if you're looking for a fun grill burger type deal, look up Cuban burgers from Bobby Flay. Like, you will not be disappointed.
Wow.
So, yeah, those are my go-tos.
Awesome.
Yes, but moving on to our next question is, what makes you feel accomplished?
What makes me feel accomplished?
Yes, you specifically, then I'll answer for me specifically.
Oh, that's good. I guess the feeling of accomplishment comes with the feeling of completion. For me, it's if I get something done, I feel accomplished. And it's if I get a goal done, if I help a lesson, if a lesson goes really good,
Yeah,
that's a feeling of accomplishment.
yeah,
For me, it's like a time of reflection. It's
Okay.
like, oh, I did that. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
yeah,
I feel accomplished. Oh, I did that. That turned out really good. I
Yeah.
feel accomplished.
I think
Yeah.
if you're very task-oriented and goal-oriented, like finishing something definitely is like, okay, I'm accomplished. That is completed. Now to the next.
But it's also progress oriented. Like
Yeah.
I may not finish something, but I've put
Feel
effort
accomplished.
toward
Yeah.
it. And I know that if when I come to it tomorrow, it'll be easier because of
Mm-hmm.
what I did today.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel accomplishment. It's nothing flashy or glamorous. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, did I get something done? Did I make progress? I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
So that's
No,
that's
that
about
makes
it.
a lot of sense. That I feel like that's a very
Obviously,
good
I've got
answer.
I lift big weights. I
Yeah.
feel accomplished.
I think it depends on what you're focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, if you're focused on fitness and lifting weights, then obviously it's like when you hit a certain number on an exercise, be like, yeah, now I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
But it's funny, and I think most people would, especially goal-oriented people, will feel this, is like when you have a goal that's taken you a while to get to, and when you get to it, you don't feel satisfied.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, well, now that's obtained, what's driving me now? It's interesting because a lot of the, and again, I'm going to talk about them because I like the team and it's brand new. A lot of the Eagles players have said that when they won the Super Bowl, they were happy, but it wasn't as fulfilling as the work that they did to get there. And they're like, I'm ready to get back after it. They're like, yeah, it was fun for the day. Then the next day I was all like, okay, well that's over.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to get back to work. Like, I want to get another one.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I think with goal-oriented or task-oriented people, once you finish that, you feel good. But then you almost feel incomplete because now it's over.
You have a high and then a low.
Yeah, because now it's like, okay,
Because now it's like, what is my purpose?
yeah, what do I do now? Yeah.
What do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to make sure that you have things like that you have follow-up tasks and other things you can do. Even if it's like, oh, I completed a book. I don't have any other books left.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well then read something for fun. Do a different thing. Like wait for the next task will come at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've found that as I've gotten older, my views of feeling accomplished have slightly changed because I was very much task oriented, where it was like, and then I would feel those highs and lows, where it's like I'm still task oriented, but I don't feel as accomplished with completing or not completing the task. It's in the process of doing the task, or more specifically, I feel really accomplished when you feel someone else succeeding.
Right.
So it's like when you were saying when you're teaching a lesson and like you feel like you had a good lesson, it's like I feel accomplished when I'm like when you're working with somebody that really struggled like getting something, and all of a sudden now they can do it, and you're like, okay, like that feels, I feel really good about that. That makes me feel a little bit more accomplished than, you know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, where it's like I hit this number or I got this.
Right.
You start to shift from more me, or at least for me specifically, me oriented tasks to we oriented tasks.
Oh.
Like I really get excited about seeing other people's success. Which when I was younger, other people's success would be intimidating because I had this mindset of, well, if they're winning, I have to be losing.
Right.
And that's not the case. And it's taken me a long time, unfortunately, probably because I'm just a slow learner.
But stubborn.
Yeah, or stubborn, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, no, if somebody else is winning, that doesn't mean you're not winning at all. There is so much in the world where this is where I hope everybody really starts to figure out. It's just because one person's doing well does not mean that's taking away your opportunity from doing well. So if someone's got something that you don't have or in a place where you want to be, just because they're there doesn't mean that they took your spot in there, in that whatever, fill in the blank.
Right.
So yeah, for a long time, it was like, God, these people are doing so much better than me. It's like they're taking all my opportunities. No,
Not the case.
No, not at all. You should feel very fortunate for those people that are winning and feel very happy for them winning, and be happy that you're around them while they're winning.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't do anybody any good to like hold resentment for somebody doing well. Probably because they've done more efficient work than you have. And there's nothing wrong with that. So don't belittle them because they've done what they need to get to where they're at. And just because they're there doesn't mean you can't be there.
That's right.
So that's I think a big thing for hopefully a lot of younger students to know. And it's hard because everything's competition based, and when you have competition's great, but it makes you feel like just because it is a perfect example. Just because somebody won, you lost.
Right.
It's a very clear cut. They won, you didn't.
It's a very simple exchange of emotions.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would say that's how life is. And I agree to a certain point, but just life is so vast and broad and big that there's so much room for everybody to win. Mm-hmm. And that took me a long time to figure out. So
yeah, it's something we have to remind ourselves that.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught in that little, like you feel like you're getting trapped.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, why can't I win? Why can't I win?
And and this is not a tournament, like a knock on tournament. I think tournaments are great, but tournaments definitely amplify that. Like, hey, they won, you didn't.
Yeah.
And that's a good motivator to be like, hey, they beat you in this aspect.
They didn't.
Yes. So getting back to the Super Bowl talk, just because you won good for you. Enjoy that day.
That's one
But that's over.
trophy.
That's over.
Yeah.
You got to come back, and now you got to work even harder because everybody's gunning for you.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, that person won last year. I gotta beat them.
Yep.
So, but interesting discussion on what accomplishment is and isn't for people. So that's fun. But moving on to our third and final question. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person,
Morning person?
not an early bird.
Yeah.
Not a.
What's your version of early?
It depends.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Well, like, let's just say an average day during the week.
Average day during the week.
Yeah.
I'm not an early person.
Not an early person.
I get up early and then I go back to bed.
Okay.
I get up at about 8.
I'd say that's still fairly early.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
then I've
like-
been
it's
going to
not
bed
late.
earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm either. I used to be super early.
Yeah.
Early bird. I would just get up. And I'd be like, why am I awake?
Yeah.
And I would get up and I would stay up the whole day.
Yeah.
And then I would go to bed late and I'd get up early again. And late and early, late and early. It's like I was both. But
Yeah.
then now I guess I'm paying for it because I'm neither.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's got to change through
It's
the stages of life. Because I remember as a junior high kid, possibly even high school during the summertime, like when you had no responsibility,
yeah,
so
you
to
were
speak.
Sleeping in till noon.
Oh yeah, noon,
not
1 o'clock,
later.
staying up till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and you're just like, how the hell did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like you didn't have anything going on. So, yeah. And then there's that phase where you're doing both,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, how am I functioning on 4 hours of sleep?
Yep.
So, yeah, I remember when I first started teaching, I tell people all the time, is like I worked from 4 a.m. to noon.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd go home and, eat lunch, do a few things around the house, and then I'd be at the dojo from 4 to 10.
Wow.
Get home, try to get a few hours of sleep, wake back up at 3, go to, and they would do that for like 6 days a week.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, there's no
That
way
was
I
a
could
time.
there's no way I could do that anymore.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, I would definitely say at this phase of my life, I'm more of a morning person.
Yeah.
So, I used to stay up late. No, I just can't anymore.
It doesn't make sense to stay up late anymore.
Not for
Like
me.
I stay up late like one night a week,
Yeah,
and that's because I'm hanging out online with my buddies.
yeah,
And I stay up there, and then it's like, okay, after everybody gets off the channel, I get off too, I go to bed.
yeah.
And then it's like, oh well, I wanna be in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna feel rested.
Yeah,
I don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring. It's gonna be
Mhm.
another day. I want to feel functional. So it's like I go to bed at a reasonable time.
yeah. My version of staying up late is like 10:30, maybe 11. And then I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
Yep.
Like, I can't stay up anymore.
Plus, we do active jobs.
Yeah,
Like when I was not teaching karate and working at a desk job,
yeah,
it's like I have all this energy. I'm like, where do I put this?
yeah. Exactly.
It's like now that my body's like tired regularly,
Mm-hmm.
sleep is needed.
Yeah.
Sleep's important.
Yep. Yeah, and I wasn't sleeping the best for a couple years.
That was
so it's like,
that one time.
yeah, now I'm like, man, if I can sleep and I know I
I'll
can
take
sleep,
that.
I'm going to sleep.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Now my dogs are waking me up, and
Yeah.
I wake up
Me
because
too.
something's aching and hurting.
Oh,
so
no.
It's so I'm used, like this morning I got up around 5:30.
Okay, that's pretty early.
Yeah, it's too early.
It's pretty early. Like
I try to get up around 6, 7. But yeah,
I
5.
think in the summer you should be up later and up earlier and stay up later,
Yeah.
just because to be with the daylight.
Yeah.
In the winter, you should be sleeping in and going to bed early.
Yeah.
It's like the whole hibernation kind of thing.
Yeah, you just follow the sun pattern.
Follow the sun pattern. We're
Yeah.
nothing more than still, Neanderthals.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
but at least we don't club people. Well, we shouldn't club people in the head over the head
We
anymore.
practice it in here.
Did you see that track meet
Yeah, I saw that.
with those high school
That
kids?
was disgusting.
Oh my gosh. Because someone passed another person, they took their baton and
Just clubbed them.
cracked them in the head. Then they're claiming it was an accident. And I was like, that didn't look very accidental to me.
Yeah, well, we're accidentally gonna give you a felony, so.
Damn, I was like, holy crap. And those batons aren't heavy, but they're metal.
They're metal. They're
Yeah.
aluminum.
You can hear them when they drop. Ting, ting, ting,
Yep.
ting, ting. So, but moving on, that was a little rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Moving on to our fight scene. All right, this week's fight scene I think is going to be an interesting one because it could go. I think it could really only go one way, but it could go multiple ways. I don't know.
Okay.
It is Conan the Barbarian versus Maximus Decimus Meridius,
Whoa, was that the Gladiator?
Legion of the Felix.
Oh.
North. Yeah, that's the guy from Gladiator.
Oh, really?
The characters
The
from
new one
Gladiator.
or the old one?
The new one is, spoiler alert, technically his son. Yeah.
Spoiled.
So if you haven't seen Gladiator 2, plug your ears. This has nothing to do with Gladiator 2, by the way.
Okay.
But so we've got the character Maximus, the Roman legionnaire,
Mm-hmm.
versus Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
So they obviously both wield swords.
Swords. One has armor. One is naked.
Yeah, but he's big and buff.
But his muscles are his armor.
Yep. And he follows the war god Crom.
Crom.
So
Yep. Another one is a part of fights better as a unit rather than individual, but is pretty talented with the stab and shield combo.
yeah,
Sword
well,
shield
and he's a
combo.
gladiator, so he knows how to
Now he's
fight one on
fighting as
one.
a character.
Yeah.
On one now.
So now we've got
Wastelands of
Samaria.
Sumeria.
Yeah, that's where Conan's from.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going to go with Conan.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Conan.
I don't even think Maximus has a chance, even if he's got armor on,
Okay.
because his sword's too big and strong and heavy. And
Big sword.
yeah.
Okay.
And he's in Samaria, so he's got the power of Crom behind him.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
he's not supernatural or anything.
I mean, barbarians are pretty just supernatural.
They're just big
super.
and strong.
They're super.
Yeah, they're super strong.
Yeah. And they're natural.
So, and they're natural. Well, probably not modern day barbarians.
Modern day barbarians are more carnivore diet.
They got more juice behind them.
Yeah,
Which
more
whatever. I'm
juice.
not hating. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like I'm all natural. No,
Don't-
you're not.
Don't say you are when you aren't.
Yeah, I'm 100% natty. Really?
Because my only question would
Okay.
be like, oh, where could I get some?
Yeah, exactly. Where can I get some of that natural?
Can I get some of that natural?
Exactly. But I got Conan first round.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
sure.
me too. I like barbarians. I
Barbarians
play
are.
one in D&D, so.
There you go. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think Maximus, if he is wearing armor, which I'm pretty sure he would be, I don't think it is gonna kind of stand a chance against that
It's-
big sword of
right.
his.
Right.
So,
Makes sense.
but now we've got. Let's go not necessarily as a Roman fighting force, but we're going to go in the Colosseum of Rome.
Colosseum.
So they're fighting gladiatorial
Okay.
style in the Colosseum.
Okay.
I would probably give it to Maximus,
Yeah?
even though I think Conan would be the more
If
prolific
Conan
fighter.
gets Crom's support in Sumeria,
yeah.
then Maximus gets the Roman crowd support in the
Yes,
Colosseum.
exactly.
And if you've ever seen Spartacus and whatnot, those crowds get wild.
Get wild. So that would give Maximus the extra juice to
That would give him the extra juice
finish the
to
job.
finish him off.
Yes.
I would also give it to Maximus because I explained it like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Maximus has a pretty distinct advantage in the Colosseum.
Yep.
Because he probably knows if there's, traps for animals to come out
Yeah,
or,
that too. That can happen.
Conan's just probably walking in there and be like, club, man.
Club.
Yeah,
Human.
exactly. But now they don't have any swords. They don't have any crowds. They're just
Don't have any armor.
don't have any armor. One-on-one,
Cage match.
fist to fist, hand to hand, foot to foot,
Okay.
head to head.
Head to head.
Yeah.
Yep.
all elbow to elbow, whatever.
Yep.
Mano-y-mano, hand-to-hand combat
Yep.
in a cage.
Yep.
Who you got?
Conan.
Conan?
Yep.
I would probably tend to lean towards Conan
Now
as
Maximus
well.
is going to be fast because
Maximus will be fast.
he doesn't have armor and he's zipping around, but Conan's muscles and whatnot.
I think Conan could take the beating,
Yeah, he could take the beating.
and then it's not going to take much for him to finish the job.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maximus can't hurt Conan without getting in close to Conan.
Yeah. I would kind of equate it to like a wolf fighting a bear.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the wolf is very talented and fast and lethal until he comes up against a bear.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Now if it was like a pack of wolves, okay, then it might stand a chance. But one wolf versus one bear, especially like a grizzly bear,
especially an aggressive bear.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep.
I'd be very interested to see if like a polar bear how it would face against like a pack of wolves.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet we got one on YouTube.
Probably.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I've heard that there's a phrase you use when it comes like rabbit hole. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, pray.
Good night.
Yeah. Kind of, because
Yep.
Polar bears, I think, are the only land-based creature that does not have any fear.
Really?
Doesn't fear anything.
No fear. Huh?
Doesn't fear
They
man.
looked kind of scared when those icebergs were melting, though, on that ad.
Oh, on the ad, yeah. Or the Coca-Cola bear.
The Coca-Cola bear.
When he runs out of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, he looked kind of sad there.
He did look kind of sad. But yeah, they don't come in contact with humans so much to fear them, so they'll just run after them. And they don't spend enough time they do spend time in the water, but I don't think they come in contact with like orcas or sharks.
Really?
Yeah. I definitely know they don't come in contact with sharks.
Yeah, well, sharks.
But I think the water's too cold for them
Too
up there.
cold for sharks up there.
But I do think that they would probably run into orcas.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard.
Orcas are more eating seals. I think they both share a prey.
They share a food source for sure.
They both eat seals.
Yeah. But yeah, polar bears are some of the biggest. I think they are technically considered the biggest bear.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the heaviest. I think grizzly bears are the heaviest.
Yeah.
But I think if you stand them up on their hind legs, polar bears are the tallest bear. So kind of wild. But yeah, I got Conan winning.
I got Conan
2-1.
winning 2-1.
Yep. Maximus, I love the Gladiator movies. You put up a good fight. But unfortunately, your reign is over.
Yep.
So
I've never had one, but there we go.
yeah, technically he did die at the
These
end
are both
of the first
first-time
film.
appearances on the show.
Yep, exactly. Maybe we'll see him again.
Maybe.
Should add like Rambo versus Conan.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that for that 80s guy.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right, moving on to our joke of the week. All right, this week's joke of the week was Thanos went to see his urologist the other day, and he says, "Congratulations, now you have the kidney stone." So that's a good one. I don't think Paige would laugh at that one because she doesn't like superhero movies.
Not a Marvel fan.
No. You got any jokes?
Oh, no. I don't think I have any jokes. Give me a second here.
Or what do you call a song about a tortilla?
What do you call it?
A rap.
Oh, there we go. That
was a good one. Oh, this one made her laugh. Why do you knock before opening up a refrigerator?
I don't know. Why?
Because there could be a salad dressing.
Oh, yeah.
Doo-doo.
Yep.
But moving on to our shout-outs. You got anybody you'd like to shout out today?
I'm going to shout out Sierra.
Sierra.
For coming to class.
That's right.
Yesterday.
Sierra had a little...
She wasn't feeling the best.
Had a little hiatus and then came back.
But
and
she came back and did everything.
She rocked it out of the park. Congratulations. Good job, Sierra. Good to have you back just in time for tournament. So it'll be good. Yes, and shout out you for holding down the fort while I was dealing with the doctors yesterday.
Yeah.
Stupid
I
doctors.
want to be in your position, so
Yeah,
I'd rather be here.
send them a bill to you. Or they should credit you something.
Pay me something.
Exactly, not send you the bill. You don't want that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but that absolutely good shout outs, good times. Now it's our final thoughts. This week's final thoughts is just like anything else. Trying to make a positive impact in people's lives. We got tournament coming up, so we want to make sure everybody's feeling confident and ready for tournament time. I'm excited to see all the out-of-towners come in, hang out with our good buddy Master Hong, Doc Chris, Mike Ham, Preston Ducati. I think those are the only ones coming out so far. So it should be a good time. And Jeff Hanley. Hanley's coming out. So it'll be good to see him. I haven't seen him in a few years, so it'll be nice to see Jeff. But I'm excited to see all the people coming out for the tournament. It should be a great time. But anything you want to leave the people with today?
Do good where you can.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep. Give with no hopes of return. Help because that's just the right thing to do. So try to make somebody's day a little bit better just by telling them hello, thank you, good to see you, and be happy. I mean, we have so much to be thankful for and happy with nowadays that I just don't understand when people aren't having a good day. So there can be things that could be sad, of course, but ultimately we got a lot of life to be thankful for, and we need to celebrate that and be gracious and appreciative of it. So have a great weekend, everybody. We will talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye, everyone.